And this is so so amazing. I don't have other words to describe it, because it's in front of our eyes and we're not able to see it. So there are so many traditions about surrounding the Pesach and the Feast of Unleavened Bread, the Had HaMatzot, and a special one related to the removal of the leaven in our houses. Okay? And there are many people doing it in different phases and thinking or looking into it in different ways. We need to look into the word of YaHuWaH to understand when the leaven has to be removed. And we already saw it, but that's the amazing part, because sometimes we have the veil, as I said at the beginning, and it's YaHuWaH the only one that can remove it. So let's read it again, and this is in the same passage in Shemot, Exodus 12, 14 and 17. So let's read it again. And this day shall become to you a remembrance. You remember the day 15 is talking about. And you shall celebrate it as a festival to YaHuWaH. We know that when he's talking about festival, he's talking about three possibilities of Moedim: unleavened bread, Had HaMatzot, or Shavuot, Pentecost, or Sukkot, tabernacles. Those are the three feasts. And in this case, talking about the first one, Had HaMatzot, unleavened bread, celebrated as a festival and everlasting law. 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread. And listen to this, what is written here, and I put it in red. Indeed, on the first day, you cause leaven to cease from your houses. Let me read it again. Indeed, on the first day, you cause leaven to cease from your houses. When we have to remove leaven from our houses? In the first day of the feast. And when is the first day of the feast? The day 15. So leaven has to be removed from the houses. Leaven has to be removed at all in the day 15. For whoever eats leavened bread from the first day until the 7th day, that being shall be cut off from Israel. And just to reinforce the idea, and we saw it, what is written in red below, for on this same day I brought your division out of the land of Mizraim. He's talking about the day 15. So leaven must be removed on the first day of the feast, on the day 15. And we already know that leaven, what represents this leaven? Represents sin. So sin has to be removed in what day? In the day 15. In the first day of the feast. And we see here the amazing connection and part of the mystery revealed. Why Yahushua had to die on the day 15? Because he was a sin offering. He was the offering in order to remove the sin of the world. The removal of the sin, that was the offering of Yahushua. And when the leaven has to be removed, when sin has to be removed according to the mystery of this feast, the Had HaMatzot, on the day 15. And it's exactly when Yahushua offered himself in order to remove sin from his people. And this had to happen in the day 15. Yahushua died on the day 15 of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, in the same moment that YaHuWaH instructed us to remove leaven from our houses. Yahushua removed the sin, the leaven of sin, from the house of YaHuWaH, from the people of YaHuWaH. This is part of the mystery of the day 15. Why Yahushua needed to die on the day 15? In order to remove sin, as leaven has to be removed. This is so amazing. So amazing. It's YaHuWaH revealing his Devar and his truth through this amazing parallel, through the feasts, through the Moedim. How Israel is fulfilling the Moedim, because it was Israel being set free again from sin in this case, in the same day that they were set free from bondage from Egypt, from Mizraim. Let's continue. This is part of the mystery revealed, the mystery of the day 15. So, it's not only that, because there is something so amazing regarding the sin offerings for the assembly. So, there are different sins offering that the Torah of YaHuWaH teaches that is related to the sin of the assembly. So we saw some of them in the part 6 of this series, but we will review it again. So the first type of animal that is being accepted as an offering as a sin offering for the assembly is a young bull. And this is written in YaHuWaH Leviticus chapter 4 verse 13-21. YaHuWaH Leviticus chapter 4 13-21. And it says the following: "And if the entire congregation of Israel strays by mistake, and the matter has been hidden from the eyes of the assembly, and they have done against any of the commands of YaHuWaH," this is the description of sin, doing something against any of the commandment of YaHuWaH, this is sin, okay? "Which are not to be done, and shall be guilty." Verse 14, "When the sin which they have sinned becomes known, then the assembly shall bring a young bull for the sin, and bring it before the tent of appointment. And the elders of the congregation shall lay their hands on the head of the bull before YaHuWaH, and the bull shall be slain before YaHuWaH. And the anointed priest shall bring some of the bull's blood to the tent of appointment. And the priest shall dip his finger in the blood and sprinkle it 7 times before YaHuWaH in front of the veil, and put some of the blood on the horns of the slaughter place which is before YaHuWaH, which is in the tent of appointment, and poured all the blood at the base of the slaughter place of ascending offering, which is at the door of the tent of appointment. Then he takes all the fat from it, and shall burn it on the slaughter place. And he shall do with the bull as he did with the bull as a sin offering. So shall he do it. And the priest shall make atonement for them, and it shall be forgiven them. And he shall bring the bull outside the camp, and burn it as he burned the first bull. It is a sin offering for the assembly. So we see here the first description, the first sin offering. In this case, it's a young bull. Okay? But there is another kind of animal, another kind of offering that is serving for the purpose of the sin offering for the assembly. And this is a male goat. And this is written in YaHuWaH Leviticus chapter 9, 1-24. YaHuWaH Leviticus 9, 1-24. And it says the following: "And on the 8th day it came to be that Moshe called Aharon and his sons and the elders of Israel." This is basically, if you read the chapter 8, it's talking about the consecration of Aharon and the priests. Okay? So let's continue in the verse 2. "And he said to Aharon, Take for yourself a young bull as a sin offering, and a ram as an ascending offering, a perfect one, and bring them before YaHuWaH. And speak to the children of Israel, saying, Take a male goat as a sin offering, and a calf and a lamb, both a year old perfect ones, as an ascending offering, and a bull and a ram as a peace offerings, to slaughter before YaHuWaH, and a grain offering mixed with oil, for today YaHuWaH shall appear to you." So we see here that for the priest, for the Aharon, was a young bull as a sin offering, and for the children of Israel, for the assembly, is a male goat as a sin offering. Okay? Verse 5, "And they took what Moshe commanded before the tent of appointment, and all the congregation drew near and stood before YaHuWaH. And Moshe said, This is the word which YaHuWaH commanded you to do, so that the steam of YaHuWaH appears to you. And Moshe said to Aaron, Go to the slaughter place and prepare your sin offering and your ascending offering, and make atonement for yourself and for the people, and make the offering of the people and make atonement for them, as YaHuWaH has commanded. So Aaron came near to the slaughter place and slew the calf of the sin offering, which was for himself. And the son of Aaron brought the blood to him, and he dipped his finger in the blood and put it on the horns of the slaughter place, and poured the blood at the base of the slaughter place. And the fat and the kidneys and the appendage on the liver of the sin offering he burnt on the slaughter place, as YaHuWaH had commanded Moshe. And the flesh and the skin he burned with fire outside the camp. And he slew the ascending offering, and the sons of Aaron presented to him the blood, which he sprinkled on the slaughter place all around. And they presented the ascending offering to him with its pieces and head, and he burned them on the slaughter place. And he washed the entrails and the legs, and burned them with the ascending offering on the slaughter place. And he brought the people's offering, and took the goat, which was the sin offering for the people. So we see confirmation here that the goat was the sin offering for the people, and slew it and made it a sin offering like the first one. And he brought the ascending offering and made it according to the right rule in the Mishpatim. He also brought the grain offering and filled his can with it, and burned it on the slaughter place besides the ascending offering of the morning. And he slew the bull and the ram as a slaughtering of peace offering, which were for the people. And Aaron's sons presented to him the blood, which he sprinkled on the slaughter place all around. And the fat from the bull and the ram, the fat tail, and the covering, and the kidneys, and the appendage on the liver, and they placed the fat on the breasts, and he burned the fat on the slaughter place. But the breast and the right thigh Aaron waved as a wave offering before YaHuWaH, as Moshe had commanded. Aaron then lifted up his hand toward the people and blessed them, and came down from making the sin offering, and the ascending offering, and the peace offering. And Moshe and Aaron went into the tent of appointment, and came out and blessed the people. And the steam of YaHuWaH appeared to all the people, and fire came out from before YaHuWaH and consumed the ascending offering and the fat on the slaughter place. And all the people saw and cried aloud and fell on their faces. We see amazing stories and the different procedures and the different mishpatim for this offering. The young bull offering for the priest as a sin offering, and the male goat as a sin offering for the assembly. Okay? There is another reference in Bemidbar, Numbers chapter 15, that you can read it for yourselves. And we have another kind of sin offering for the assembly, and those are the two male goats, and this is in Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 16, verse 1 to 34. We are not going to read it completely. You can read it by yourselves. Chapter 16 of Vayikra, verse 1 to 34. And it says, And YaHuWaH spoke to Moshe after the death of the two sons of Aaron, as they drew near before YaHuWaH and died. And YaHuWaH said to Moshe, Speak to Aaron your brother not to come in at all times to a set apart place inside the veil, before the lid of atonement, which is on the ark, lest he die, because I appear in the cloud above the lid of atonement. With this Aaron should come into the set apart place, with the blood of a young bull as a sin offering, and of a ram as an ascending offering. He should put on the set apart linen long shirt with linen trousers on his flesh, and gird himself with a linen girdle, and be dressed with a linen turban. They are set apart garments, and he shall bathe his body in water, and shall put them on. And from the congregation of the children of Israel he takes two male goats, as a sin offering, and 1 ram as an ascending offering. And Aaron shall bring the bull as a sin offering, which is for himself, and make atonement for himself and for his house. And he shall take the 2 goats and let them stand before YaHuWaH, the door of the tent of appointment. And Aaron shall cast lots for the 2 goats, 1 lot for YaHuWaH and the other lot for Azazel. So let me skip to the verse. Let me look for it. This is talking about the Yom Kippur, and this is in the verse 29. And this shall be for you a law forever. In the 7th Chodesh, on the 10th day of the Chodesh, you afflict your being and do not work, the native of the stranger who sojourn among you. For on that day he makes atonement for you, to cleanse you, to be clean from all your sins before YaHuWaH. It is a Shabbat of rest for you, and you shall afflict your being a law forever. And let me read the 34. And this shall be for you a law forever, to make atonement for the children of Israel for all their sins once a year. So all the description we have here in the verse 16 of YaHuWaH is talking about the sin offering during Yom Kippur. And in this case, during Yom Kippur, the sin offering for the assembly, for the people, were 2 male goats, 1 for YaHuWaH, 1 for Azazel, and one of them was the sin offering, and the blood of the sin offering, the priest, the Kohen Hagadol, were bringing that blood inside the veil. Okay, so this we see 3 kind of sin offering for the assembly. We already know that the 2 male goats are during Yom Kippur, but what about the rest? What about the young bull that we saw in YaHuWaH chapter 4, and what about the male goat that we saw in YaHuWaH chapter 9? So let's start with the male goat. When the male goat for sin offering was presented, and this is so amazing because the answer we find it in the debate of YaHuWaH. We need to let the scripture to speak by itself, and the answer is in the book, in the Sefer Bemidbar. This is the book of Numbers chapter 28. Okay, so we are looking when the male goat, the sin offering for the assembly, represented with the male goat, has to be offered. So it is written in Bemidbar, Numbers 28, verse 14 and 15, says the following: And their drink offering is half a hin of wine for a bull, and 1/3 of a hin for a ram, and 1/4 of a hin for a lamb. This is the sending offering for each Chodesh month throughout the Chodeshim months of the year. And 1 male goat as a sin offering to YaHuWaH is prepared, besides the continual ascending offering and its drink offering. So what we see here is basically the sin offering for the people at the beginning of every month. This is the description that is YaHuWaH instructing us in the Torah in Bemidbar. It says again, this is the sending offering for each Chodesh throughout the Chodeshim of the year, throughout all the months, in every month, at the beginning of the month. That was the ascending offering. But beside the ascending offering, in the verse 15, a 1 male goat as a sin offering to YaHuWaH is prepared. And we already know from the debate of YaHuWaH that the male goat is the sin offering for the people. So here we have the first answer. The male goat is prepared as a sin offering every month of the Shana, of the year. But it's not only that, and this is the amazing part. Let's review it because it's in the same book of Bemidbar, Numbers, but in this case in the chapter 28, verse 16 to 25. And here we see the connection with the feast, with Chat Hamatzot, with the feast of unleavened bread. And it says the following in the verse 16. And in the first Chodesh, in the 14th day, is the Pesach of YaHuWaH. We already know that. And the verse 17. And on the 15th day of this Chodesh month is a festival, is the feast of unleavened bread, is the Chag HaMatzot. For 7 days unleavened bread is eaten. On the first day is a set apart gathering. You do no servile work. And you shall bring near an offering made by fire as an ascending offering to YaHuWaH, when during the feast of unleavened bread. This is the instruction, this is the Torah. Let me read again, the 19. And you shall bring near an offering made by fire as an ascending offering to YaHuWaH, 2 young bulls and 1 ram, and 7 lambs a year old. Perfect ones they are to you. Let me clarify something here, because in this case we also see young bulls, okay, over here. But in this case the young bulls are ascending offerings. They are not sin offering, okay? And this is important because we will see it in a moment. The young bull is serving as a sin offering, in this case an ascending offering. Okay, so let's continue in the verse 20. And their grain offering, fine flour mixed with oil. Prepare 3/10 of an ephah for a bull, and 2/10 for a ram. Prepare 1/10 of an ephah for each of the 7 lambs, and listen to this in the verse 22. And 1 goat as a sin offering to make atonement for you. So beside the ascending offering, during the feast of unleavened bread, they needed to bring a goat as a sin offering to make atonement for you, to make atonement for the people, to make atonement for the children of Israel. So he is talking about the male goat that is serving as a male offering, as a sin offering for the people, for the assembly. And when needs to be offered to YaHuWaH? From the day 1 of the feast to the day 7 of the feast. Let's continue. Prepare this beside the ascending offering of the morning, which is for the continual and ascending offering. According to this, you are to prepare the food of the offering made by fire daily for 7 days, as a sweet fragrance to YaHuWaH. It is prepared besides the continual ascending offering and its drink offering. And on the 7th day you have a set apart gathering. You do not servile work. So basically we see here that the sin offering as part of the feast starting on the day 15. So sin offering on the day 15, in the same way that Yahushua died for us as a sin offering in the day 15 of the first Chodesh, in the first day of the feast of unleavened bread of the Chag HaMatzot. We see the amazing connection of removal of sin, removal of leaven, that means removal of sin on the day 15, with the offering of the sin offering for the assembly, the male goat, represented in this case by Yahushua, offering himself as the sin offering for the people. When? In the day 15, in the first day of the feast. But this even a more wonderful revelation from YaHuWaH, and it's related to the young bull. The point is, and how I want to start sharing this with you, it's what about the bull offering? Because we saw when to offer the male goat as a sin offering, every Chodesh, every month, and during the feast. You can read in context the rest of the chapter 24 and 25, because the of Vayikra, Bemidbar, sorry, because you will see that during other feasts the sin offering also, of a male goat is also offered to YaHuWaH. But what about the bull offering? That is also representing, or is part of the sin offering for the assembly. So one important aspect that I didn't notice until today is the following. What is written, and these are the words of Yahushua in Matthew chapter 26, verse 27 and 28. It was something beautiful that I was able to see in this Shabbat today. And it says the following. Yahushua in his last Pesach with the Talmidim saying the following in the 27, and taking the cup and giving thanks, he gave it to them, saying, drink from it, all of you, and listen to this, for this is my blood, that of the renewed covenant, which is shed for many for the forgiveness of sins. So, what's the wonderful thing here? He's talking about his own blood. His own blood. That is the blood of the renewed covenant that is going to be shed for many for the forgiveness of sins. So, what he's saying that his blood is serving two purposes, as we saw in the part number 6, is basically the blood of the covenant and the blood for the sin. So, for the sin, we already know that the sin offering we have the blood of the male goat and also the blood of the bull offering or the young bull. But what about the blood of the covenant? What was the type of animal that was offered as the blood of the covenant? And we see the amazing revelation in the first covenant, in the wilderness. And this is in Shemot, Exodus chapter 24, verse 1 to 8. And this is so amazing because we will see a confirmation later on in the next slide. Shemot, Exodus 24, verse 1 to 8, and it says the following, and to Moshe he said, come up to YaHuWaH, you and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel, and you shall bow yourselves from a distance. But Moshe shall draw near to YaHuWaH by himself, and let them not draw near, nor let the people go up with him. And Moshe came and related to the people all the words of YaHuWaH and all the mishpatim, all the right ruling, because Moshe heard all the words and all the mishpatim from YaHuWaH. That's why he was related to the people, because he was the only one permitted to go closer to YaHuWaH. Let's continue. And all the people answered with one voice and said, all the words which YaHuWaH has spoken we shall do. It wasn't the words of Moshe. It was the words that YaHuWaH spoke. And the people said, we will do all these words. And listen to this, because this is so important, and this is part of the confusion about the Torah of Moshe and the Torah of YaHuWaH. There is not such a thing, it's only one Torah. And Moshe wrote down all the words of YaHuWaH. The book of Moshe is basically everything that he wrote are the words of YaHuWaH, is what he listened directly from the mouth of YaHuWaH. And rose up early in the morning, and built a slaughter place at the foot of the mountain, and 12 standing columns for the 12 tribes of Israel. And he sent young men of the children of Israel, and listened to this, and they offered ascending offerings, and a slaughtering of peace offering to YaHuWaH. Of what animals? Of bulls. So the ascending and the peace offering, the ascending offerings and the peace offering to YaHuWaH that they offered in this moment, the animal they used were bulls. Let's continue why this is so important and how this is connected to what Yahushua said about his blood. Number 6. And Moshe took half the blood and put it in basins, and half the blood he sprinkled on the slaughter place. And he took the book of the covenant and read in the hearing of the people. And they said, all that YaHuWaH has spoken we shall do. What's the book of the covenant that he took? Was the book that Moshe himself wrote. And what he wrote was the words of YaHuWaH. We saw it a few lines above. So let's continue. And they said, the people said, all that YaHuWaH has spoken we shall do and obey. And listen and see what happened. And Moshe took the blood. What blood? The blood of the bulls. And sprinkled it on the people. And listen what he said. And said, see the blood of the covenant which YaHuWaH has made with you concerning all these words. So here we see the confirmation. The blood of the covenant was a blood of a bull. In the same way that a bull is serving as an ascending offering, is serving as a peace offering, as we see it here, is serving as the blood of the covenant for the first covenant, is also the blood of a bull, if it's presented as a sin offering, is serving for the sin offering of the assembly, to make atonement for the assembly of YaHuWaH. So why this is so important? Because, as I said, is the blood of the bull the one that can serve for the two purposes: the purposes of the blood of the covenant and the purpose of the sin offering for the assembly. So how is the connection with what Yahushua said? His blood is serving the two purposes. This is amazing, because somehow the bull represent the offering of Yahushua. So why this is so important? Because we will see a confirmation here of what I already said, and this is in the book of Hebrews. This is Hebrews chapter 9 verse 18 to 28, and we also saw this one in the part 6, but this here we see it with the confirmation about the mystery of the day 15. So let's read it again. It says, "Therefore not even the first covenant was instituted without blood." We saw it in Shemot already. "For when according to Torah every command has been spoken by Moshe to all the people, he took the blood of calves and goats." In this case we saw that was the blood of the bulls, "with water and scarlet wool and hyssop, and sprinkled both the book itself and all the people, saying, This is the blood of the covenant which Elohim commanded you. And in the same way he sprinkled with blood both the tent and all the vessels of the service. And according to Torah, almost all is cleansed with blood, and without shedding of blood there is no forgiveness." And here we see the connection: cleansed with blood and forgiveness through blood. 23. "It was necessary then that the copies of the heavenly ones should be cleansed with this, but the heavenly ones themselves with better slaughter offering than this. For Mashiach has not entered into the set-apart place made by a hand, figures of the true, but into the Shemayim itself, now to appear in the presence of Elohim on our behalf. Not that he should offer himself often, as the high priest enters into the set-apart place year by year with blood not his own. For if so, he would have had to suffer often, since the foundation of the world. But now he has appeared once for all at the end of the ages to put away sin by the offering of himself." So it's connecting again the sin offering of Yahushua with what is written in Shemot. And this is so amazing and so important, because what is written in Shemot is related to the blood of the covenant as well. Verse 27, "And as it awaits men to die once, and after this the judgment, so also the Mashiach, having been offered once to bear the sins of many, shall appear a second time apart from sin, to those waiting for him unto deliverance." So what we see here is basically he's speaking about the blood of the covenant. He's also speaking about the blood of cleansing, and also the offering and blood to redeem sin forever. So basically Yahushua's offering represented by the bull offering is the only animal that the blood of the animal that can serve to both purposes: the blood of the covenant and also the blood to remove the sin from the people, from the assembly. And Yahushua said, "This is my blood of the new covenant that is shed for the removal of sin." Why this is so important? Because this is the second, an additional part, not the second part, it's additional part of the mystery of the day 15. As you can see there, the day 15 revealed again. So when this bull offering as a sin offering has to be offered, and how this is related to the Hat Hamatzot, the day 15, to the festival and the feast of unleavened bread. And the answer, we find it in the words of a Navi, an important prophet. This is Ezekiel, Yehezkel. and we found it in his book in Ezekiel chapter 45, verse 18 to 25. And I'm gonna put it immediately just for you to see what are the, I'm gonna highlight the words, so we are gonna review it all together. So let's read it. It says, starting in the verse 18, "Thus said the Master YaHuWaH, in the first month, on the first of the Chodesh of the month, you are to take a young bull, a perfect one, and shall cleanse the set apart place." So the instruction here is to take a young bull for cleansing. The cleansing of the set apart place, and when this needs to happen in the first month, but in the first of the month, in the day 1 of the month. Okay? So let's continue. "And the priest shall take some of the blood of the sin offering, and put it on the doorposts of the house, on the 4 corners of the ledge of the slaughter place, and on the posts of the gate of the inner courtyard. And do the same on the 7th of the Chodesh, for anyone who makes a mistake or is foolish. And you shall make atonement for the house." All of this is for the atonement. What is describing is for the atonement of the house. And you know what is I just found very interesting? But they are using the blood of the sin offering, and they are putting on the doorposts, somehow similar to the pattern of what happened during Pesach. This is important. So let's continue in the verse 21, because here is the additional revelation of the mystery of the day 15, because it says, "In the first month, on the 14th day of the Chodesh, you have the Pesach." Okay? A festival of 7 days. And we need to understand, when he said the festival, there is a separation. One is the Pesach on the evening of the 14th, and the festival of 7 days, that the leaven bread is starting on the 15th. We already know that. So let's continue. A festival of 7 days. Leaven bread is eaten. And listen to this, because this is the key. Verse 22. "And on that day," what day? The day of the festival. "On that day the prince shall prepare for himself and for all the people of the land a bull for a sin offering." Let me read it again. "And on that day," what day? The day of the festival. "On that day the prince shall prepare for himself and for all the people of the land a bull for a sin offering." Was the first day of the festival? Is the day 15. Let's continue just to confirm that we are talking about the day 15. Verse 23. "And during the 7 days of the festival he prepares an ascending offering to YaHuWaH, 7 bulls and 7 rams, perfect ones daily for 7 days, and a male goat daily for a sin offering." As we already read this in Bemidbar as part of the instruction for the offering during the feast. The male goat and the rams and the bulls as a ascending offering, and the male goat as a sin offering. But we see an special instruction here, something different. A bull for a sin offering for the prince and for the people of the land. Is something in addition, and in the day 15. And how we can confirm that we are talking about the day 15? Let's continue. "And he prepares a grain offering of 1 ephah for each bull and 1 ephah for each ram, together with a hin of oil for each ephah." And listen to this in the 25. "In the 7th month, on the 15th day of the Chodesh, at the festival, he prepares like these 7 days, as the sin offering, as the ascending offering, as the grain offering, and as the oil." He's doing, and he's comparing the 2 festivals of 7 days, the festival of Hat Hamatzot and the festival of Sukkot, and he's referring what is I highlighted in red, on the 15th day. So when he's talking about in the verse 22, on that day, is referring to the day 15 on the first month. Everything is related here. The bull for a sin offering on the day of the festival. What day? On the day 15. And this is in complete harmony. with the words of Yahushua, that his blood is the blood of the covenant, and his blood is the blood to remove the sin from the people. So the only blood that is serving the two purposes, as we already saw, is the blood of the bull. And we see here in the revelation of Ezekiel that the bull of sin offering for the people has to be presented on the first day of the festival of unleavened bread, on the day 15. This is so amazing, because this is the Devar of YaHuWaH speaking by himself, revealing us the mystery of the day 15 with the removal of the leaven that is representing the sin, with the offering of the male goat as a sin offering, starting on the day 15 to day 21 during the 7 days of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, and also the offering of the bull as a sin offering on the day 15 of the first Chodesh. We see three witnesses in different forms that is revealing to us part of the mystery of the day 15. Why Yahushua needed to die on the day 15 of the Chodesh. The blood of the covenant, represented by the bull. Removal of the leaven as part of the feast. Basically, Yahushua taking over himself all the sin of the world, all of the sin of the people. And the offering of the bull as a sin offering on the day 15 of the Chodesh. This is so amazing. And let's compare in order to finalize and complete this long study. So we already saw the everything that happened on the first Pesach, and we need to compare the end from with the beginning. So in the third day of the week, Pesach has to be celebrated on the evening, so the Pesach lamb is sacrificed. And the Pesach is eaten during the night of watches, during that night. And during the night was the salvation and death of the firstborn. Pharaoh called Moshe and sent the people out. In this case, Israel is free from slavery. And during the morning, Israel leaves Mizraim. Israel leaves the nations. This is very important. And in the first day of Chag HaMatzot, in the day 15, is the day of remembrance. Why? Because Israel came out of bondage. Israel is totally free from bondage and slavery from Mizraim. So, how this is compared with Yahushua's Pesach? Okay? In the day 14, the Pesach was sacrificed. And Yahushua ate the Pesach with his Talmidim. During the night, Yahushua is arrested in Gethsemane, in the Garden of Gethsemane. So Yahushua in this case, God's slave, and is opposite to what happened with Israel, because Israel is set free. So Yahushua is basically taking the place of Israel. So in the morning, Yahushua is brought to Pilates. So in this case, Yahushua is delivered to the nations. And what happened to Israel? Israel leaves the nation, leaves Mizraim. They started to leave Mizraim in this morning. So again, Yahushua is basically, what's happening with Yahushua is totally the opposite. He's taking the place of Israel in this case. And what happened in the day 15? Yahushua died in the stake, as we already saw, with the mystery of the day 15, with everything we just saw already. And what happened with Israel? Israel again is totally free from bondage, but in this case from bondage of sin, because Yahushua put over himself all the sin of the people. So this is part of the mystery of the day 15. This is part of the purpose of Yahushua dying on the day 15, and it's so clearly to see it directly from the Devar of YaHuWaH, This is not my words, this is not an invention, it's just to read directly with all the witnesses that I have been sharing with you. And this is so amazing because I have not seen this in any other place. I didn't learn this from any other place. I'm nobody to be sharing with you this amazing revelation. But it's something that I was able to receive directly from YaHuWaH, and I'm sharing with you. And again, it's coming from this book. The truth is here. This is part of the mystery of the day 15. This is part of the revelation of YaHuWaH and why Yahushua needed to die on the day 15. I know this has been a very long part, but I needed to deliver all this information to you. There is a second part, is the ransom. And this is also an amazing topic that is totally complementing all of this that we have been studying in this video today. As I told you at the beginning, I will do my best in order to prepare the material and deliver this information before the coming Pesach. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it, but if it's not, I will try to share this second part as soon as possible with you, because with that part we are gonna complete this series, this amazing series, with all the information about the death, burial, and resurrection of Yahushua. You know, I'm finishing this recording, is 3:45 a.m. in the morning here. I not feel tired, and actually I have been recording for several hours, and I feel in my heart that I'm completing something that was pending for so long. And I hope that the information that I have been sharing with you is clear. Sorry for the length of this video, but I didn't find any other way to make it shorter. Please study this with calm. Check all the passages that I have been sharing with you, and the most important, pray to YaHuWaH that the Ruach HaKodesh guide you during this entire study, and with all the passages and all the witnesses that I have been sharing with you. The Ruach will reveal the truth in your heart. Don't trust in my words, use it as an input, but pray to YaHuWaH in order to confirm, that YaHuWaH confirm in your heart that everything that I'm sharing with you, if it's truth or not. Toda Rabah, thank you for joining me in this study and this amazing series. Thank you for being with me and for your support. I'll see you in the next part and final part of this amazing series, in the part 7b. YaHuWaH be with you, and see you in the next video. Bye.